on the train lines out there today, so if you wonder what the noise is, it sounds like drilling. They're doing stuff. How have you made that rude?
I'm just thinking of Val Venus's entrance theme, you know, the screw going in.
Train going into the tunnel. Wrestling news. You dirty boy. CM Punk has dropped a big AEW hint. A released WWE star is teasing a New Japan debut. And Malakai Black's in-ring return to the Indies has been announced. We'll get to that in a bit. What a week we are about to live through in the world of pro wrestling, Ross. It feels special.
It does feel special.
Because finally, the thing that we have rumoured and innuendoed for pretty much as long as the channel has been alive.
Oh, it's been as long as the channel's been alive, yeah.
It's about to be a thing.
We're about to go out of business, but it's fine because CM Punk, the topic of 98% of all of our news content over the past nearly 4 years, my God, nearly 4 years, it looks like he's going to rock up at AEW on Friday, and bloody hell, Tom. Bloody hell.
If he doesn't, that in itself is news. The fact that he doesn't. Two big teases for CM Punk over the weekend. One out of the mouth of CM Punk himself.
Yes, that's right. CFFC 99, which I assume is a bit of the MMA.
What would the Ma? Which is when you eat something that's a bit too spicy. Ma!
Exactly. CM Punk himself and John Morgan were on commentary, and after Morgan mentioned one of the competitors inside the cage was returning to his wrestling, Punk replied, yeah, he's looking all elite right now. He did the click as well. He didn't do the click as well. That's me just being a bit of a sassy bitch on a Monday morning.
Also on the same night during an NFL broadcast, we had NFL Network's Adam Rank talking about the Bears and the Dolphins game. He referred to the debut of Justin Fields, the quarterback, as, quote, the most anticipated debut in Chicago until Friday, when presumably CM Punk shows up on AEW. It's just, I love the fact that even non-wrestling outlets are talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is where you know that suddenly wrestling is very zeitgeisty again, because there's people outside of our sphere that are like, when I get messages from like family members, like my dad, who's like, oh, what's this CM Punk thing then? Like, that's ace. That's ace.
You do think about the past 10 years in professional wrestling, those sort of professional wrestling stars who have crossed the border in a different sort of. I remember Daniel Bryan in the build at WrestleMania 34 getting all sorts of yes chance at basketball games, and American football teams doing the same. Slightly before that, of course, there was CM Punk. And since Daniel Bryan, who has there been? Roman Reigns has been in a film with The Rock.
He has.
That's about it, isn't it? In terms of big mainstream things.
In terms of
Sasha
big
Banks in
crossovers.
the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Sasha Banks is, and really nothing else. Oh, John Cena, before Roman
Does he
Reigns.
count? Oh, he's been around for years.
That's true, in terms of somebody bringing the Zeitgeist, and I think CM Punk is where he was doing that right now. It's going to be a big week for AEW. Yeah, it's going to be a whole week for AEW. A big weekend for wrestling in general. Looking to one of the guys that was let go from WWE, they are teasing some big old plans ahead. That'll be our big beefy boy Bronson Reed, who's been on Twitter teasing a trip to New Japan Pro Wrestling and squaring up for a dust-up against Tomohiro Ishii.
Stone Pitbull. I'll fight you. That's what he's like. That's what he does.
Is Ishii a Geordie? Ishii is a Geordie. Ishii is a Geordie. I love the idea of Bronson doing anything in New Japan. He's in a pro wrestling Noah, if memory serves, many moons ago.
It's just what he's doing at the minute. Any sort of big, sweaty man in the world of wrestling at the minute, Bronson Reed's like, yes, I'll wrestle him, and I'll sit here, Bronson Reed, and say, yes, I'll very much enjoy that, seeing you just clobber each other.
See, I'd be living if I were Bronson Reed, and like the sweaty men era of NXT, the big sweaty men era of NXT is about to happen, and you've been given the old boot out the door.
Makes no sense, does it? Makes no sense.
Absolutely livid. On the subject of guys like Bronson Reed, just a little tidbit from WWE. Fightful saying that released WWE stars who aren't US citizens have been given an additional 60 days on top of the 90-day non-compete clause. This is to help with some of their visa issues. It basically gives them 150 days no compete, meaning that according to immigration, they're still technically with the company. It gives them time to get some stuff in place. If a talent can find work in those extra 60 days, they can stay in the US. Otherwise, they'll have to return to their home country.
Yeah, this is something that I spoke with Chelsea Green about on my straight Straight to Hell episode, which is on the channel right now, by the way, because of course she got released. She is from that there Canada, a bit north of America, and you get the green card to work in America via the company you work for. So when she got released, presumably she would lose that green card status, therefore she'd have to sort it out by herself and not working for anybody. That makes it very hard indeed. But I don't know how it works for people like Bronson Reed, who of course is from Australia.
I presume it's the same sort of thing.
Same sort of thing. So yeah, you got to think about that with international talents. It just makes you feel sick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
These people uprooting their lives, moving their families like Bronson Reed has with his lovely wife across the world, and then be released.
That's the risk of that's the risk and reward, isn't it? For whatever you do, you know. It's not the same as moving from Australia to the US, but I moved up from the Midlands to Newcastle. For a job that released me after 5 years, and you just kind of go, oh, I've got to work out this 90 day, otherwise my Newcastle visa expires, and I have to get sent in a plane back down to Birmingham International Airport, and no one wants that. They don't even have a Greggs there. Oh. New Japan of America truly got their motor running once again over the weekend. A much hyped show coming out from them, New Japan Resurgence, where we have seen a brand spanking squeaky-licious, baby. We saw a brand spanking New Japan United States IWGP United States
These
champion.
microphones are annoying me. It keeps going down my shirt.
What it is, right, is if you... I've got dragon underneath?
I've got plenty of slack. Right, there's no dragon there, no.
I'm just going to pop my hand between your legs for a second.
Oh, there's a dragon there.
Bear with me.
Woo!
There we go. See, if you pop it there...
It's like that episode
then it gives you a little bit more in the way of slack.
Like Dirty Sanchez. If you know, you know, if you know, you don't.
Diddlers of Cultaholic will clip that off and share that appropriately.
Yes, Hiroshi Tanahashi has now won every major heavyweight title in New Japan Pro Wrestling history by defeating Lance Archer to become the new United States Heavyweight Champion of the world.
Good match as well with those boys.
I haven't seen it yet, Tom. Tell me what happened.
They had a lovely time. Tanahashi winning the old fly, fly, flow. Bit of fly, fly, flow action at the end. It was nice. My microphone's fallen off as well.
We are professional.
We're keeping all of this in, Owen. Don't stress on it.
We just put myself and Tom's heads on the dog with a fire round from the earlier news video, Owen, if you wouldn't mind so much. That's us doing the news.
Everything is fine. Every major title in NJPW history now owned at some point by Tanahashi.
It's gone! I tell you what, they're too heavy. You need a substantial collar.
I tell you what we'll do. Should we just hold them like this for the final story?
Go on.
Let's just hold them like this for the final story, and we'll figure it out afterwards, right? Malakai Black, finally, is making his indie wrestling return. Now, we saw him rocking up at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's show as a nice little surprise at the end, but he's actually getting back in the ring.
He is. He's going to be on PWG Tremendous on August the 26th, where he will be tag teaming with another heavily tattooed man called Brody King to take on Flamita and Black Taurus.
Nice.
Bloody hell.
Finally seen Davey Richards get his shot at the PWG Championship. He's facing Bandido for the belt. Also on the card, the return of Alex Shelley rolls on. Alex Shelley took some time away from the wrestling. He's back at it. Him and Jonathan Gresham are going to have a good little dust-up.
Of course they will.
And Evil Uno, your mate from Straight to Hell.
Another plug.
Another cheap plug there, facing Tony Deppert. Good to see PWG and their motor back up and running. If you want a hilarious story about how one of Malakai Black's testicles exploded...
Oh, man.
Oh, check out Saturday's news video. Man
alive. 7 pieces.
I didn't know me testicles had 7 pieces.
Mine aren't big enough. They're going to go to 3, maybe.
Is it like folding a piece of paper?
Yeah.
You can only fold it so many times. More news and longer mic cables when we get it via the YouTube channel, which you're watching right now. Have yourself an amazing day. Stay safe. And love you. Bye.
Keep your meaty clackers safe.